Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us in this beautiful morning. It's Thursday, folks. Remember that. So I am sure everyone is positive and excited as we are. My name is Nader Amir, and I'm the Solutions Manager at Square One Technologies. Today's session is part of our workshop series, which we have been conducting over the past few months. Today, we are going to show you how to create automated analytical workflows. So first, let me briefly introduce the team and Square One, and I promise you we'll keep the talk to the minimum and just show you actually real case scenarios. So today's sessions, we have Mr. Mohammed Tweety. He's a senior solution consultant from Ultrex, and he's here today to explain to us how Ultrex can change the game when it comes to automation. And also Mr. Samah Kadura, he's our practice lead in Square One Technologies, data practice lead actually. Okay, what we are, who we are, and what we do as Square One. Basically, we are, we give you anything you need in your digitalization and business transformation initiatives. We bring you state-of-the-art technologies and platforms that will help you in your digital transformation journey. And we just blend all these technologies together, as you're going to see in today's demo, to make sure you enjoy the maximum level of automation in your initiatives. So it's not only a single area where we are focusing on. We are going to focus into all kind of automation challenges that an organization may face, right from unstructured data to human-driven workflows to robots-driven workflows to data analytics and data visualization, and of course also low-code platform development. So today's agenda, we're going to introduce very briefly Square One, and Mohammed Tweety, we're going to speak about Ultrex, and Samah is going to walk us through a real business case combining different technologies from intelligent capture to RPA to Ultrex and data analytics and to visualization tool. So all these four components, you will see them how they can work hand in hand to deliver an optimum automation use case. Now, next slide, please. So just briefly, as Square One, we are present currently in 6 cities, and we have more than 12 years of experience around the automation and business transformation initiatives. We have more than 100 qualified resource into all these areas of expertise, and more than 800 clients in the region. Now, these are just a glance of our clients in using different one or more of our solutions. And you can skip to the slide. So this is, you can see here in the region, different big names, enterprise level and SME solution. Now, this is here quickly what we do, so enterprise content management here, we represent, again, leaders into all these areas, but enterprise content management, we help you in addressing, all the challenges around unstructured data. We also present you a central repositories and human-driven workflows and case management application. So anything you need, basically, when it comes to managing your information that is not there managed in your CRMs and core and ERPs and core systems, we help you create a central repository that will govern, automate, and take care of the entire, content lifecycle. Then we have the automation part, and there specifically we provide you tools like RPA, robotic process automation, to help you in the automating repetitive tasks, voluminous tasks that will consume times and resources. And of course, we combine that with cognitive tools and intelligent capture tools that will help you to, extract data from almost any kind of source. And in addition to that, we are also introducing state-of-the-art chatbots that will help you also to, automate and digitize your customer journey and customer relationship. In addition to that, we have our data and AI practice that will help you, leveraging not only data visualization but also predictive analysis, and build very smart models that will help you to predict and take the right decision when it comes to your business. And last but not the least, and today's data and AI is our core topic for today's demo. And then last and but not the least is the application development. So we offer you here, intelligent tools to build application on a low code methods, including, Microsoft Power Apps, and on-base case management, low code application builder, and now anything when it comes to low code development platforms like OutSystems and Mendix. Now, next, please. So this is at glance what we do, okay? And these are the partners and technology that we have here from all areas that we have described very briefly. And then now I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Tweety, Mr. Mohammed Tweety, to take us through Ultrex introduction before we jump into the final use case, which Samah is going to take care of. Tweety is all yours now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nader. Thanks, everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. So I'd like to spend the next 5 minutes or so just to give you a brief of what is Ultrex, what we do, and where we are when it comes to the data and analytics in general. So Ultrex is a software company that delivers an end-to-end analytics process automation platform. So our platform helps companies to turn their data into actionable insights, which in turn improves their businesses. So we are leader in the Magic Quadrant for data science and machine learning. So we help shape and analyze different data. And most important is to easily get those results into dashboards and visualization. And this is what Samih will show in his demo, which is a total or a full end-to-end demo. So our platform, or Ultrex in general, is a publicly traded company, and we have a strong presence here in the GCC market. So it starts always with a business question. So I invite everyone to think about it. So analytics, so you start with a business question from where we are at risk, for example, of churn. If we are in telco, for instance, how can we grow our business? What are the implications if we add, for example, some new centers? And this is something that we've seen with Department of Health. When is the best time to launch, for example, to start new offering? So all of this business question, you go back and start to find your right data. And this is where Ultrex will help into 3 pillars. First, which is the data, collect the right data, put it in the right shape. Data quality, data management is part of our platform. Then we start looking at insights. So what do we have as an insights, results, so on and so forth. And the last part, which is the most important, which is action. So how can you take those results into action? How can you put the results the right time into the hands of the decision makers so they are able to take the right decisions? Next, please. So from a technical perspective, this is how Ultrex works. So just to make it simple to everyone, we said data from the left-hand side. If your data coming from bots, data platforms, applications, CRM, Google BigQuery, or any type of data that you have on the left-hand side, big data environment. So Ultrex will help you with different building blocks that we can see here in the middle, from data blending, prescriptive analytics, geospatial analysis, which is a really good part of our platform, publish the app controls. So all of that, or all of those building blocks, is what Ultrex will help. And on the right-hand side, you will have your outputs. Whether you want to send it as a report, you want to send it to a dashboard, you want to publish it back to any website, send emails, docs, all available into the platform. Yeah, next, please. So now let's answer the question, who can use the platform? So we've seen that in the past with many organizations, IT and database administrators, they can use the platform to move the data, to transform the data, to load the data. We've seen as well GIS specialists. So for example, Abu Dhabi Police, they use it for location-based analysis. On the right-hand side, application development to quickly turn any insights into applications. Decision makers, they can as well log in and use the results and take actions as mentioned at the beginning. And then at the bottom, we have the business analyst or the data scientist. So Ultrex serves both the data scientist as a code-friendly environment and for business analyst with our assisted modeling and AutoML capabilities. Next, please. So when we talk about who are our customers, so organizations of all sizes and across a wide variety of industries have adopted our analytics platform. So we are known for quick time to value, and we helped many organizations to take the benefits of the self-service data science and analytics. And I leave everyone here to go and look at the different customers that we have, whether here or globally. Yeah, next, please.
Sorry, Tweety, I got a chat that there is no sound. I just want to make sure, is everyone able to hear us? Okay. So yeah, please, sorry for that. Proceed.
Yeah, so we also operate in different verticals, and the impact is huge. So we don't only talk about the data or analytics, but the focus is on ROI. What will be my ROI? Upscaling people, sales increase, return to the bottom line when it comes, for example, to airlines. We are working for instance, with Qatar Airways. Revenue increase, for example, AlphaTime is one of our biggest customers here. So all of what you guys can see here in front of you as an ROI is what we push for, and this is what we deliver to customers. ROI, ROI, ROI first. Yeah, next, please. So I'll just finish my presentation. Can you please go to the next? Yeah, so here, I just wanna give a brief of a highlight on different verticals where we worked on, from financial services, from research and development, distribution, to public sector is one of our big verticals here in the region. So we worked with many organizations or many bodies here in the region. And then for last slide, where for the retail, so we worked with many customers when it comes, for example, to AlphaTime, to Panda Group, to Al Shaya. All of them are customers, and they have seen the power of Ultrex and how they can use it. Yeah, that's it from my side. Hand it over to you, Sameh.
Thank you, Nader. Thank you very much. And thank you, Muhammad, for the input. And I will be also making it short a little bit so that we do the demo, and then we will open the session for questions and answers. Okay, so I will start with the IT and business challenges these days in every organization. And here we will be highlighting that a lot of organizations today are having a problem in managing the different resources, the budgets, and the different paper processes and complex processes that are happening within the organization. For the business and the IT, there is the changing business expectations constantly and shadow IT governance that is going on. There is a lack of insights. There is no business intelligence integration and a clear view, 360 view of the business and what is happening on the ground and what could be happening in the future. It is the lack of tracking also and measuring this performance. And finally, the total cost of ownership by managing different legacy systems, being able to provide the security and the compliance for all of these systems and leverage the existing technologies. So what are the benefits of low-code app development? It will increase the agility that whenever I need to change something instantly and get the result. It is the cost saving where within one platform, I am achieving all of my targets and resolving all of my challenges. I am growing my development team with new skills, with new tools, with new hands to be able to create efficient tasks within the organization, unrivaled collaboration as well between the team members. It is giving me the enhanced insights. It is giving me the right insights to the right people and at the right frequency. It is the limitless innovation and the you can say the opportunity in front of us to achieve with these technologies is, as we say, the sky is the limit with such technologies. So today we are speaking about automated analytical workflows, an end-to-end analytical platform to automate my data processing from the collection of the data in its sources, in its raw form, to the consumption of this data. So today we will be, as Nader and Mohammed were speaking, we will be combining multiple technologies together in a harmony, you can say, to reach the result that we are intending. So we have ABI to cover the intelligent document processing. We have Ultrex, which will handle the analytical process automation, the robotic process automation by Automation Anywhere, and finally, Power BI for the BI. Okay. So we will be starting with the demo. Before the demo, I will just lay what is the business case in front of us. So we will be studying the case of a wholesale distributor, which has data, as we said, in different sources and different forms. Let's say SQL database, some data is in the SQL, some data is in Excel, some data is in PDF documents. As we said, structured, unstructured data. This distributor is receiving orders in PDF formats from the clients, and we will have objectives. So the objective number one is the sales order generation. Since we are getting these PDF documents, we would like to automate the process of collecting this data, checking the availability of my inventory and my stock on hand, and then generating the sales order details. The objective number two is to do prediction, where I will predict profitable opportunities for me to target certain customers. And we will be doing that by determining our top profitable item. And then based on the historical data of the customers, I will be studying this historical data and predicting who, according to the customers that still didn't buy from this item, who of them might be a good opportunity to target. All right. So using the robotic process automation with the analytical process automation to get our end-to-end platform will be in this architecture, you can say. I have my data sources on the left-hand side, might be all of these different sources. The API is handled by the Ultrex, where I'm getting all of this data and I am making it achieve the objectives that I need. And then I am outputting to different sources for consumption of the data, whether it's BI tools like Power BI or CSV files to use for further analysis, or a database, back to a database. And in this case, the RPA will post also back to, if I have an ERP system and I would like to automate a certain process in that ERP system, we will be using Automation Anywhere for that. So let's get started. And I will be switching to my environment here. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen again. And in this environment, as we were speaking, we have our different data sources. So for example, I have a sample database that I am using here, which is hosted in SQL Server. It has a few tables which are related to the use case that we are targeting: customer master table, item, location, and stock on hand information, for example. Then I have Excel data in customer sales and location mappings, for example. And in addition, I have a PDF file, which is a purchase order. And as you can see here, it's a scanned image where it has information about the vendor, the customer. It is a stamped and signed document, and it has some line items as well. And I want to take details from this document. So I will start with, let's say the data in the SQL is ready, and the Excel data is also ready for the consumption by the API platform. So for the PDF document that we were checking together here, what we will do is we will use the ABI. And ABI is a software. The ABI Flexi capture that we are seeing here in front of us is configured to detect these different fields and for example, name fields, number fields, as well as tables according to the white space in the page, according to where this data is positioned, whether it's above a certain label or below a certain label or below a certain group of fields, whether it's in proximity and close to some fields or not. So here I am configuring this detection and the OCR, and I am feeding the ABI my document. So how do I use it? I will go to the ABI destination, okay, and I will delete my old files. Okay, so in the ABI path, I will go to the input and I will input my document. As we can see, the document has been consumed by the system. And now if I go to the output folder, till now there is nothing. As we can see, it is generated now. And 2 documents I will get, 2 Excel documents I will get from that PDF document. The first document will be showing me my header details from the PDF, the vendor information, customer address, customer name, John Smith. In addition, I have my line items. Okay, so this is a table with the line items that we saw in the PDF with the quantities, the prices, and the product codes, and so on. All right, so now my processing of the PDF is done, and we can automate this process where it is consuming this PDF files and giving me the appropriate Excel files for them. So we move into Ultrex, and here the tool that Muhammad was speaking about, Ultrex, starts from the Ultrex Designer. So with the Ultrex Designer, as you can see here, it is a user-friendly tool with many vast variety of tools actually to use, which we call building blocks, where you can use them for anything that you can imagine that can be done with data and which is involved with data processing can be found here. All right. And basically I have my canvas where I will be configuring my workflow. I have my results page on the bottom side. And on the left-hand side, I have the configuration menu where I configure each tool with this code. So let me drag, for example, here an input tool. With the input tool, I can decide where am I reading from. So one of the possibilities are files. Here, there is 100+ input-output capabilities to different sources. So for example, if my data is in files, XLSX files, XML, CSV, all of this, JSON files, all of this is supported, as well as different data sources. So I have my different database types, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft SQL, Amazon, SAP, IBM, all of this, Oracle is also available here. Okay, so once I configure my data source, let's say, for example, I am connecting to SQL. All right, in this case, I choose my connection, and then I press OK. So here, from the sample database, for example, I'll go and select the table that I need. All right, from that table, I can select which items do I want. Let's say the item key, the location key, and then the quantity. Okay, so now if I add a browse tool to view information about my data, and I run this simple workflow, I will be viewing my data and I will be viewing information about my data as well. Okay, so this is showing me the metadata where it shows me the fields with its data type and its source if I have a different sources. And then here I can see the data itself. Now on the left-hand side, I can see more analysis about this original data. So for example, the most repetitive location key you can say is the 335 with 500,000 entries. And how many entries do I have? I have 929,000 entries from this SQL table, for example. Then I have my item key distribution as well, and I have my on-hand quantity. So if I press on item key, I can get more analysis. Now, till now, because it is considering item key as an integer, it is giving me integer analysis. How many values are okay, how many are nulls and not okay. All of this I am viewing here, as well as a distribution for the values, for example, which value is most repetitive, and so on. Now, if I add a select tool, just to change the type from item to, from integer to string, for example, and I run the same workflow, I will be getting the information according to string type. Okay, so what is the minimum? What is the maximum length? Minimum length is 2, maximum length is 56. What is the shortest value? First alphanumeric value, and the distribution again as well. So we can see that the item with ID 257 was the most repetitive. Okay, so this is just to give you a feel of how we interact with the tool. Now, if I go to the workflow number 1, which is covering my first objective of the sales order generation, we can see that we can use it for doing much more than that. So we will start from the beginning, where I have my different data sources, and my objective is the sales order generation, for example. So here I have my PDF input, which I will get from the CSV file, which was output by the ABI. And I have my database input. For example, here I have my customer master. And the first thing I'm doing is that I am doing a comparison and lookup for the name of the customer, which I picked up from my PDF file. So as we can see in my PDF file, the name of my customer is John Smith. But we will come to find that in the system, it is spelled a little bit different. So what I am doing is I am doing some data cleansing, I am doing the union, and I am doing a fuzzy match, which is giving me what how many records are close to this record, where I am setting as well my match threshold, for example. And finally, I am able to identify which record was the correct name according to what was input. And here I can control how much confidence I can have with the matching. So for example, here I took the record from the customer master, and the name John Smith is actually in my system spelled in another way, which we will see here, John Smith. Okay. Actually, this is my result. This is being fed to the system to insert if there is a new customer. But here, for example, I find that the spelling was different with a middle character and an E at the end, for example. All right, next. So also there is address information from the PDF file. So for that, I am also connecting with Google APIs to be able to get the coordinates of this address and be able to provide the shortest or the closest, you can say, warehouse, which has the material, so that I can forward to this customer from that warehouse itself. So as we can see here, I am connecting with the Google API. I am feeding it the actual text of my address. So if I go here a little bit, okay, I am feeding the Google API my customer address, which is Lansing, Michigan, for example. And as part of the API, it is giving me a lot of things. I am only taking the longitude and latitude of this address from the Google Maps itself. All right. And then I'm using the geospatial tools to create geospatial objects. So in this case, I'm creating a point which indicates this customer's location. Then I am taking again input, and here I am taking an Excel input, for example, for the location mappings, as well as my location master from the SQL database, which has the coordinates of my locations, you can say. And I am sorry, the coordinates are in the mapping, and I am joining it with my locations master. And again, also I'm creating points for the warehouses. Okay. Then I am appending both values together, and I am using the tool which is called find nearest. Oh, sorry, the tool distance, where I'm calculating this distance, and I'm sorting the closest ones, because I might not have the material in the closest one, so I have to check the second closest. And this is giving me here the distances in kilometers. And if I check the browse tool here, I can see my different locations of the warehouses, and the green mark here is showing the customer. All right, but these are all the locations. I don't know if the material is there or not. So if I move forward a little bit, I have my item availability, where again, I'm taking the line items from the PDF, and I'm taking my stock on hand from the database, as well as my item master. And using that, I'm doing the calculation to determine which locations have the material and it's available. And as I can see on the screen, for example, there was closer locations, but these are the two locations which have all the three items that were requested by this customer. And then I'm picking the first one because there is more than one available. So I have selected the Texas, for example. He's in Detroit, Michigan, and I have selected the Texas one, which is the closest to him. And now I'm appending all of the fields together so that I can get the sales order details, which contain, for example, the company key, the source customer key, location key, and so on, with the items and how much quantity do I need from these items and the item names. And I am outputting to a CSV file in this case. Okay. Now, if I run this workflow, as we can see, it is doing all of these processes. Now here I have an error message. Let me check real quick. Okay, so this file, because the files are open, which we were viewing from the ABI output, we need to close them before running the. All right, so I click run again. Perfect. So it was run in 4 seconds. And now I need to post these details, and I need to automate this process of posting these details back into my system. Now, for that purpose, what we are doing is we are simulating as if I have an ERP system by using a Google form. And here we will see the capabilities of the robotic process automation to be able to post from this CSV file that was output by the Ultrex and post it into my system. Okay, so just before that, let us check the output file. So I have my sales order details, which was generated by Ultrex, which has the information I requested. This was generated just now. And now I have my bot, which is a client which can be automated as well to run on this machine to imitate any human action on the machine. So if I run the bot, I have left the mouse now, and as we can see, the bot process is starting. It is filling my form with different files, and it is actually also uploading the Excel file that I need here into the system, okay? And then it is submitting my entry. So this could be your ERP system, for example, and the robot is going to handle this part, all right? Now, also, we spoke about the BI part. So I can configure my workflow to be also outputting to my preferred BI tool. In this example, Power BI. So for Power BI, I have my built-in Power BI output tool as well, which I can connect. And I have to give permission, just like I gave permission to the Google API and I gave it the credentials of my application. The same thing has to be with the Power BI as well. So I can provide my credentials here and identify it in the configuration window. All right. Then I can say refresh token, and I can log in, and it will be login. I choose my workspace, which I want to publish for. I choose a dataset name if it already exists, for example. I choose the table name. and I choose the batch of the records. The maximum is 10,000, so we can set it up like this. And then, for example, create a new data set or replace the existing one. All right. Now, after I have published this data set, it will be available for me to build, you can say, a dashboard using it. So here, for example, I have already built my dashboard, which is feeding from that data, and now I have it as my source for my dashboard. Okay, so I have the dashboard here, which is interactive, and I can fill it with the information that I need, with the filters that I need as well. You can also provide a mobile version for this dashboard. So I will be showing this. Give me just one moment. Okay. So here. Okay. So as you can see, for example, I've configured the dashboard as well to be mobile interactive, and I have the same information on my mobile as well. And if I shift the phone into the, you can say the tabular view, you will get the horizontal view as well, which you can see on the Power BI desktop. So it's currently searching for the data set. I'll just attempt as well. Okay, so this is how we will use the Power BI with the Ultrex. Okay, now moving forward to my second objective. So with my first objective, I have done the sales order generation. I have posted back to my system, as well as I have published to the Power BI dataset. Okay, now with workflow 2, we are targeting the prediction objective that we are trying to achieve. And for this, I have my historical data, my historical sales data, which contains information about the previous sales of my customers. So the customer ID, the gender of this customer, were they in the same city like the store or not, some personal information if it is available, average items, for example, per sale, how many items per one sale, the payment terms, is it under 30 days or not, what is the customer business as well, what is the payment types, and so on. And finally, the some amounts, which is the average basket per sale, for example, and the total sales for any item which is not my top profitable item. And then I have my historical data, so I know, did these customers buy my top profitable item or not? And using the predictive tools and machine learning, I am dividing my data set into two. So if I zoom a little bit here on this component, I am distributing it into an estimate and validate datasets according to 80% and 20%, for example. So here I have my 80%, which is being fed to the machine learning model so that it learns according to all of these different factors. And then I'm using the 20% to validate my values. So how does this process work, and why is this tool very helpful in such predictions? I will delete this part here where it is training this model. And let's see how Ultrex will work to learn about my data. Okay, this. And I will just deactivate this part for now. Right. And let's say this is my data set. I got my data set from the CSV file, and I am distributing it, as we said, into estimate, sample, and validate sample. And I'll just click run. Right? actually better off. Let us reset it and feed the data again, so we start from scratch. So you have this historical data. Every organization will have historical data. Every organization will have a scenario which they would like to utilize. And here I will just press Start Assisted Modeling. So with assisted modeling, what I will be doing, or what Ultrex actually will be doing, is basically studying my data and studying the features, the different features within my data. So here, with the available targets, I am selecting what is my target to be predicted. So will my customers buy from my top profitable item or not? So I'm selecting this, and as you can see, instantly it detected that this is a classification problem, not a regression problem. Okay, because I want to classify my customers according to their data. Will they buy or not buy? Okay. Next, it will allow me to go step by step of how to configure the machine learning model, or I can go with the automatic part. So we'll go with step by step just to see these strong features and how it is being helpful. So here, the tool is checking the data types, if there is any feature that should be dropped, because this is an ID, so it will not help in any prediction. Average, whatever the data type is of the field, it is detecting, and if there is a recommendation to change the data type, also it will be mentioned here. And if I go field by field, I can get more information about this field itself. So I've changed my data types. So for example here, clean up missing values. Here, the total sales of my customers, which were not from the top profitable item, instead of taking it as an amount, it should be a median. The recommendation is that it should be a median because the feature contains numeric data that might contains outliers, for example. Okay. And I press next. So now, what are the features according to all of this? What will be a good predictor? This is being selected as well, and advanced information is found on the right-hand side. So I'm just clicking next, as you can see. And finally, it is recommending which algorithm would be best in this scenario to predict the output I'm trying to predict, which is a classification output, as we said, and it is whether these customers will buy from this top profitable item or not, based on historical data. So we can see also the pros and cons of each algorithm, you can see. Now I run my selected algorithms. And here I can see there is an assessment going on to assess the different algorithms. And now we have much more information about each algorithm. So for example, the XG boost has been rated the top with 82.5% accuracy. Now, not only this, why is the accuracy 82.5? So here I have the more information about the overview. Okay, so based on the historical data we took, and we didn't look at the answer. We tried to predict after training our model, and it was 82.5% accurate to predict that yes, they bought, or no, they did not buy. Now, if I go to the interpretation, this is very helpful, where it tells you which are the features which were mostly effective in the prediction. So for example, the average items per sale was a good indicator of whether this customer will buy from my top profitable item or not. Which season did they buy in? The winter, spring, or summer, for example. What is the customer business? These are three strong factors which help in the prediction. Then with a little bit less level, you can say the average basket, the total sales of non-top item, and the payment types, for example. Then there are some factors which were not very helpful, you can say, in the prediction, or not affecting much on the prediction. Now, the same I can view for the different algorithms as well. So with this algorithm, for example, which is logistic regression, there was one factor which was most, and again, it's the average items per sale, and the customer business a little bit less. Okay, now I can select which algorithm do I want to depend on. So for example, in this case, it's XG boost, and actually I can select 2 or 3 if I want to evaluate them with the real data later on. So I will select the first one, recommend. Now, when I press add, here is the beauty is that I don't have to build. Ultrex has built the different steps I need to train my model, whether it's to set the data types, clean up the missing values as we were seeing in the menu. And now I have this predictor tool, which I can feed new data. Now, of course, if this is any real case, I will not feed it the new data instantly. I will feed it from my historical data, and I will assess, okay, whether this 82.5%, you can say, result is accurate or not. So now I will take my validation data set. I will input it to that predict values tool. I will run my workflow and wait for the results of this prediction. Now I'm using my validate dataset because I know for these customers already if they bought or not. So I will compare it with the prediction from my model. So as we can see, it is done already. And now if I take a look at here, at the end result, I can see that with 1,409 input, it was 1,144 times true and 265 times false. So it is achieving actually the 82%. Perfect. Now, this data, I can as well feed it back, whether I want to feed it to a database, whether I want to do more work and join it with other data like we were doing in the first workflow. I have all of these options to utilize within Ultrex. So I just want to, at the end, just take you through the different tools that I have here. So I have different data preparation tool, joining tools, transforming, reporting tools if you want some reports to be generated already in their Word or PDF format or email, we having them from the workflow itself. The geospatial analytics, which are much more, we have highlighted a little bit of features, which is the distance tool, for example, and the create points tool. Machine learning, which we highlighted in our last example, text analytics, and much more. Okay, so with that, I would leave it to the questions, please. And thank you for taking the time and joining our session today. So please, if anyone has a question, you can drop it in the questions and answers field in the Zoom webinar. And we'll take a couple of minutes and then we will be answering these questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sameh. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. I hope it was helpful. And as we, initially explained, now the idea here is to show you how to leverage all these technologies to achieve maximum optimization and maximum automation. So I hope that we were able to achieve this goal, and we are open for any questions. And again, the use case offered here, we are not encouraging you to go and compete against Amazon or Noon or all these warehouse and e-commerce vendors. We're just giving an example. So this can be applied to any kind of use cases. Please feel free to ask. And unfortunately, we have muted all attendees just to make sure that the recording will be clean. So we will accept questions through chat. Please feel free, and we'll be able to answer your questions. Yeah, so from Mr. Abhinav, OutSystem demo will be shown from after Ultrex. No, it's not an OutSystem use case today. It's about Ultrex mainly. So there is no OutSystem demo today. We will arrange a low-code platform workshop shortly, and we will definitely communicate with the agenda later on. Yes, Mr. Hani, we will share the recording as well as the presentation after the demo. Yes. Yes, Mr. Irfan. Yeah, we will be happy. Now for any, we are more than happy to work with you on use cases, specific use cases on some demo also, a proof of concept. So for that, you will be, you will be receiving an email that will have some contact details. So anyone is interested in the whole components or any specific components, you feel free to drop us an email, and we will definitely coordinate with you and set up a one-on-one meeting to go through all these queries that you have. Yes, we can connect to any other BI tool, not necessarily Power BI. So Power BI is just an example. Yes, Mr. Pradeep. Tableau, Click, Power BI, you name it. We can connect to any visualization tool. Very happy to hear your comments, Mr. Irfan. Thanks a lot for that. So Tweety, I'm not so sure if you're able to read the comments. So Mr. Nuruddin is asking if we can connect to SAP Analytics Cloud. I'm not so sure. Yeah.
Was it SAP, right? SAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. For SAP, yeah, we have connectors to connect to SAP, and I can give an example, which is AlphaTime, which is a big SAP house, and they are using SAP connectors and Ultrex on the top of that to perform all of their analysis. Yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Dimitri, we as a company, Square One, we are based in GCC, but Mr. Tweety was talking about Ultrex. So Ultrex is an international global player, so their customers are spread worldwide. But as Square One, we operate mainly in GCC. That's why you've seen our customers as GCC customers only. I hope that clarifies your answer, your question. So, Mr. Pradeep, about shall we connect unstructured data sources? Yes, that's why we use tools like, for example, Ultrex, Abby, or any other tool. So yes, you can feed data from JSON, .xml. You can feed data from almost any data source. If it's completely unstructured, like paper-based and all this, then definitely you need a document processing, intelligent document processing tool. And for that, we also we probably can arrange one more session for only focusing on IDP, or intelligent document processing. So we use generic tools like Abby, where it has machine learning capabilities, but also we can work on specific use cases. We have already done so, for example, for insurance industry. We have built an AI-based capture model that will be able to address all ID documents within UAE. So if you take a picture of your Emirates ID, it will read it. If you take a picture of your driving license, car registration, passport copy, family book, all these kind of documents, there's an AI model that will be able, that is prepared to deal with them. So yes, we can help you with that. OCR is not built in Ultrex. That's why we use Abby tool. Okay, so Abby is a tool that which will help us to use OCR to leverage OCR to extract data. So yes, Abby is a separate model, different than Ultrex. Okay, but Abby is not the only option, as I said earlier. Tweety, question for you: is it possible to big data? I think the answer is yes, but definitely
it is.
Yeah. So we can connect it to big data platforms like Hadoop. Yes.
Can I just add one point when you said unstructured? So you can as well connect to social media platforms, XML, emails as well. So the answer is yes, and we have plenty of sources that you can ingest and use. Yeah.
There's one question we have missed from Mr. Abdullah Ansar. What is the back end of Ultrex? Tweety.
So, all right. So Ultrex is based on Windows technology, and we support Python and R and Spark as well. So you can go and code on those technologies if you're using Ultrex.
Okay, I think that concludes, or we still have 3 minutes. Do we have any more questions, or I guess that's it. Okay, thank you very much. What is the cost of a project? That's a very difficult question to answer. It all depends on the use case and what kind of integration and what kind of you've seen that there's so many use cases and scenarios that you can build. So we'll be happy to discuss this with you. Thank you, Mr. Dimitri. You're welcome. We're very happy to see this positive messages from you. We are really happy to see that this interactivity and these many questions. I hope it was beneficial for all. So yeah, I think we will conclude today's session. Appreciate all your time and to join today's session. It was really nice to have you all. And as I said, you will get a post workshop email. You will have our contacts. We'll be more than happy to conduct one-on-one session and to discuss every use case and every requirements separately. Thanks a lot for joining. Have a lovely day and stay safe.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.